Hi guys, it's me, Wendy. I'm going to bring you a little tutorial in using these Ken Oliver color bursts. I got a great tip from the scrapbooking store I bought them from, and so I was just experimenting, and this is my first attempt, and I'm using the Swirly Bird stamp set, and I'm using white embossing powder and then these color bursts. And interesting technique. I don't know if it's exactly what I was going for, but it's kind of cute. I think I would prefer if the leaves were open, so I might try to find one of the leaves I have in another stamp set. And first I will emboss on watercolor paper, and I'm using 5 by 3 3/4, and I'm taking the largest Swirly Bird stamp and putting it in the corner. And I am putting embossing powder with each stamped image because I'm going to just heat emboss it all at once. And so I am just going to go from the biggest to the medium to the small, going up and at the bottom. So I will be right back and I will get that done. So I got all my embossing powder on, and it would probably look better if I did it a little bit wider, but I'm just experimenting, so I will be right back and I will get this all embossed. Okay, so I did go ahead and get that embossed. You can see it slightly in the light that is reflecting off of it. And so with the color burst, this was what I did from the demonstrations I saw on YouTube. I sprinkled the powder and then I used a squirt bottle and moved the color around. Now what my lady at the scrapbooking store told me to do that would save on the powder is get one of these little paint trays and then sprinkle it in just one little tap, and you will get a little bit of powder. Because this is white, you can see it, and it's really hard to see it when you're putting it on the paper. And so I like that idea because you weren't going to waste it, and you're able to limit the amount of powder that is going or on your, and it looks like I did get some out. And then here's some of the lime green that I had left over. So what I'm going to do is take one of these aqua painters and then just get a little bit of water in the tray, and then you're using it like a watercolor, and it's so concentrated. And I loved how, now the embossing does have, it does resist the color, so I'm mostly putting it on the outside and then the small swirls on the inside. And then I go to the next color. And then I am trying to blend it a little bit so there's not this dark seam, I guess. Then you can just push the color around by putting more water through your aqua painter. And then if you want the third color, although I don't like that little mark there, so it takes a little bit of practice. If you just add a little bit more water, you can push that color so it doesn't have quite a noticeable mark there. And then you can just go back and add more color as you like. I'm going to put a little bit more of that red up here. Okay. And adding a little bit more purple. And then I take a baby wipe and then I'm lifting off some of that color. And then it's hard to tell that if there's a seam line, so it starts to blend it really well when you're using a baby wipe. And then I just want to put a touch of green, because I know when you mix green and red you'll get mud eventually. So I just want to do just a slight hint of green for the leaves, and even that's probably too much more than I really wanted. And you can lift some up again with a baby wipe. And I want a little bit more purple. So I'm going to try to see if I can blend it a little bit more without it making mud. Then I got some ink on there from a different project. And so I'm going to just heat dry this and then I'll be right back. Okay, so got that dried, and it gets a little wrinkled because it's the water that gets it all wrinkled, but you can use fast fuse to tape it to a layering piece, and so that should be held in place. And then I'm using Flourishing Phrases, Just a Note sentiment, and I'm going to do that in gray this time. And I'm using one of the circles that came in the paper pumpkin, and I'm just going to center this as best I can. And I got a little schmutz there, but we'll work with it. And then I want to add some color around the edge. And then I'm also going to put some of the, and I'm using basic gray to do this. And because this is watercolor paper, it spreads out the gray just a tiny bit. And I like that effect, so it gives it a thicker line. Okay, so I added that border, and then I wanted to see if I can fix that little oops I did. So I'm just going to take a Stampin' Right marker. This is basic black. Let me see if I can find the basic gray, and then I'm going to take the, I don't know what's that smaller tip, like the fine point tip, and then I'm just going to do a kind of a little swirly. Not perfect, but I'm okay with it. And then, let's see, I think it needs just a hint of these metallic new metallic shapes. Okay, and then trying to decide, do you want it going this way again, or should we put it that way? Maybe we'll do it this way. Let's see. I think I like it this way. I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. And then I had thought of this, putting a little bit more I don't know, you know, I'd cut that off, but I don't know if I like that, or if it should be just plain. I think I'm going to put that there just for some dimension and for a little bit of added color, because you know I love color, and I'm not really into pastels, so this is very pastel-y. I don't know if that's a word, but I like it. Pastel-y. So add that. So not only did you get a tip on how to use the Ken Oliver Color Burst, also learned a new word. and then go and just chop that off. Tip there. Okay. And it does help if you have it glued down properly. So there you have it. So here's the original using the Swirly Bird stamp set, the Ken Oliver color bursts, embossing, and making it to a fun watercolored project. So hope you enjoy that. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Do you like this one or that one or this one? It's up to you. Leave me a comment below. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.